says it all. The roles of an artist. The reason we going over all the different roles of an artist today, because I mean, at the end of the day, as an independent artist, you are your own business, and you running your own business. You know, a lot of artists don't see it that way, but
It's a
it's a
fact.
lot. It's a lot of different, things that you got to do to be
Right.
an artist. I mean, a successful one, or even honestly, even an unsuccessful one out there. It's a lot of different things that you got to figure out, whether it be contracts, whether it be, split,
Uh-huh.
whether it's copyrights and all that kind of stuff. The first, and I mean, Merk, if you have any additions to this list,
Oh
then
no, we go hop in, we go share, and we go fill that, you know what I mean, all the way out, man. But um to echo your sentiment, man, you know, it's tough for indie artists, frankly, because you're a creator at heart and you want to follow your passion of
mm,
being a creator. And you bump into people, they say, man, to be successful, you got to take off this creative hat and put on this business hat. And you don't want to leave that creator behind. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I see so many artists just saying, hey, man, they do the numbers, they do the business stuff. And 5 years later, those same artists, like, man, them people, you know, they effed me, man. They burned me. They got down on me. You know what I'm saying? You go hear me reference a lot of songs out of this. So one of my favorite songs is Rosa Parks by Outkast. And that song is essentially about how these guys they creators and they create this dope music. They're stuck in this ability of where people who are always trying to stay in the front. In their case, they're Rosa Parks because they stay in the front, but they don't leave essentially a part of the people who's supposed to be at the back of the bus. Even on the verse, the guy he talked Dre 3000 talks about, baby boy, you only hot as your last cut. You focus on the past, your ass would be a has. But he goes on to rap about how his favorite rapper is making these songs to try to stay in the front, and how he's no longer impressed with his favorite rapper. And a lot of that happens when you got people who didn't learn the business early. They get into the game, they get hot being themselves, and then they get a little cold, and now they're forcing themselves. They thought that the hotness was because of a trend, and they didn't realize that the hotness was because of the honesty. And the business says that it's a trend, and now you trying to keep up with today's trend, and next thing you know, you then fell off because you having a hard time keeping it real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Right now, before you put out that first video that do 2-3 million views, or before you had a SoundCloud to go crazy, or before, you know, Nicki Minaj come liking pictures and stuff, get a fair understanding of what, you know, this part of the fence is, because it's better to be prepared now. And let me say, you know what, bro? The music business, it ain't complicated at all, bro. It ain't. It's. You're gonna hear different terms that intimidate you. I just said it. I just took a course the other day covering IP, intellectual property,
mm,
and that term used to intimidate me because it was like it's this big vague rule, but intellectual property is pretty much anything that you create with your mind. For so long, the definition of that was some long, elaborate, you know, jargon. But like just like them songs that you write for your homies, that's your IP. That's your intellectual property.
mm,
Songs you write for yourself, that's your intellectual property. It's not even that deep, bro. It's like so like even when it comes to publishing your music, is there's going to be a lot of people who try to take advantage of like artists because like and they intimidate them with all these keywords and things like that. But it ain't difficult at all, man. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, when I was coming up, we used to do this thing called. I used to be scared about putting my raps out, and we would do what's called a poor man copyright, which is like write our raps out and then email them to yourself and not open the mail because this is the only way to prove that you created it before said date. But nowadays, you can just email it to yourself. It's the same thing.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a lot of ways to protect your art in the business. Long as you look at the business as not as this like scary pool of sharks or people trying to take advantage of you, just learning the business is just protecting your art.
Yeah,
That's it. just another way to protect yourself and protect your business. And essentially, I say it all the time, rappers are small businesses who are trying to become big businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and everything that goes along with that, everything that comes with the brand, everything that you represent. So, you know, is we want to be able to help you out from a music standpoint and figuring out cool, creative ways to make music, but we want you to be able to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this list of things that we have here, on the roles of an independent artist. At this point, long as you know those roles, all these hats that this guy has on, you are wearing all those hats. You're not putting them on; you're wearing them already. So it's nothing to be afraid of. Like, you already your own manager, you already your own CEO, you already your own producer, you already your own A&R. These are all things that you actually you can tell somebody that you are. Like, yeah, I am a music manager. I am an A&R. I am, like, because you do them for yourself. So just becoming more aware of the things that you actually already do is something we want to help you out as well, man. So can't nobody come in your life trying to tell you that they doing it for you, because you was already doing it.
Exactly. And I know the next one may seem it's okay. So just so y'all know, these definitions are my definitions. They ain't the official definitions. But the thing is, all artists aren't songwriters. All songwriters aren't artists. Everybody that's an artist don't all write songs for themselves. And another thing is, these are all different sources of income for you. You make your own music as the artist. Put that out. That's a source. That's your money. You write songs for other people. Honestly, that's where the real money is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Really big, because then you own all that publishing. Like you could like for example, they say the guy that owns the song "Happy Birthday," his grandkids got paid for years, because once you copyright something, you own. I mean, it's copywritten once you create it, but it lasts once you register it the proper way. That lasts for till you die.
70 years after you die?
Like 75 years or something like that after you die. You know what I'm saying? So if you got all these records, then your grandkids gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people. But the good thing about being not just an artist and a songwriter is it does open you up for, more revenue opportunities to be able to write stuff for other people. Because, if you own publishing on just your music, that's cool. But then if you own the publishing for, and you have the rights to say, do what Dolly Parton did with "And I Will Always Love You," that, that she did, and, Whitney Houston did, and it became another hit because, somebody actually offered her the publishing for that song, but she kept it, and then years later, Whitney Houston made it a big hit, and Dolly's still getting paid off that. Right. Anybody that creates that song, they get paid off their recording of it, but she get paid off their recording of it, his recording of it, her recording of it, my recording of it, your recording of it. She gets paid off all those versions. So that's the definitely, that's the good thing about being a multi-talented artist. And next thing, composer, producer, beat maker. This is a word you'll see a lot when you start filling out, like PRO information. It'll say author or composer, but composer just mean a writer. And, for a writer is the songwriter of the lyrics, one, but also the producer is a writer. Like they write. I mean, if you can literally copyright sheet music, you know what I'm saying? Like you can copyright sheet music for somebody that creates that dope ass piano melody. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. But it creates that dope piano melody for, whatever trap song you hear, or whatever, R&B song, or whatever the case may be, the producer. And that's a big misconception. A lot of just recording artists. Myself, as a rapper, I was like, what? I paid this much for the beat? Why I gotta give them something after that? What I'm saying? What? That don't even make no sense. But all collaborators are composers. You know that they just cut it down. They are composers. Something else Merk mentioned, A&R, artists and repertoire. If you want to go over this one, I mean, maybe if you know more, but
Well,
um,
it's an A&R. It's probably one of the more vague terms in music, similar to a manager. You know, it's a person that you think, you know, oh, what up, Noski? Well, like an A&R, they typically tasked with the job of like assembling, um, I guess, assets for the music. And what I mean by that is like picking out the beats for your album or things of that nature. So like when you go on YouTube and you skimming through, you A&R for yourself right at that point. You know, you're trying to find beats that match where you're going. And sometimes it can be a bit broader. Maybe it's, you know, introducing you to, if right now, if I was to plug my homie into the screen and say, hey man, my homie who just knocked on the door, he know how to play the piano. And I say, hey man, me, Davion, yada yada, you know, and then y'all go on and do a track together and you play some over his pianos, like over his keys. I just A&R'd that track. So just that gesture, though it being small, like it's something that like happens all the time. But yeah, that's essentially the job of it.
okay. Next, you are your own marketing team. And that's
Yeah.
basically, you know, the team marketing is definitely like such a, it used to scare the
Yeah.
heck out of me hearing that word, honestly, because I'm like, first, how do you market? Where is this market that they speak of? How do I get to it? How do I find my people in this market? How do I, you know, make those people even vibe with me inside that market? And it's basically just, you know, telling your story without telling your music. It's like it's telling your story, and getting people aware of your brand and aware of your music and that it's out there and that you actually exist inside this little music industry realm. Mark,
That like to echo on that real quick
go ahead, yeah.
before like marketing, bro, like the more educated I become on it, the more I realize how broad it is. Like, case in point, speaking of marketing, like people, like you start off, the first thing you think of like is like your logo and how to promote and flyers and, you know, follow me at this. But the bigger it grows, say one of the bigger companies that are great at marketing, maybe like a Verizon. Like I just love Verizon. I had them for fucking 3 years and overpaid all that time, like because it was the same service you get from Metro,
Yeah.
literally the same service. So, but one of the big keys to Verizon's marketing, you know, them making a wise choice of choosing red in a phone market. Something else, they actually Verizon is one of the only stores that not only has a, you know, a brand logo that they have copywritten, but they also have a fragrance copywritten that like whenever you enter a Verizon store, there's a scent that comes out of the hems of their door that only exists in Verizon stores. So like that's them building what's called an ecosystem for their product. So in the case in point of an artist, you have a virtual ecosystem. A virtual ecosystem, which is all marketing, which is would in your case be your Instagram page. Like whenever somebody come to your page, they enter in like they're being marketed to, like by what you have to offer, and depending on if you build your page in that, you know, direction. So and once we enter your ecosystem, you may want to have some stuff up there in the header with some of the latest videos, or maybe some things that, if not you, just lend to some of the artists that you like, or some of the stuff that people can look forward to. But everything you do as an entrepreneur is marketing. And as a musician, you are an entrepreneur. Like, period. Like, because you're somebody who's trying to turn a small business into a big business. So, and that can open up a whole nother can of worms. But understand that like every decision you make is part of your marketability. Even when you go to school next year, you know what I'm saying? Like, however you choose to wear your clothes, like that all lends to the brand of your who you are as an artist. It really does. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's not just limited to the flyers or posters people get printed.
Yeah.
So
And I'll say too, just to, like the more I understand, branding and what it actually is, and it's really just it's your story, and it's your story,
yeah,
it's
that's
your
it.
story and how you are, whatever makes you special in that little realm. It's gonna make those group of people connect to you, in on an emotional level, where, and they get sometimes, because I think about like Cardi B, I didn't like her music like that. I liked her brand, like I liked her personality on her Instagram stories. I didn't watch Love and Hip Hop. I didn't like none of that. What I'm saying? I didn't watch any of that, but I watched her stories where she would just like go crazy and just be funny. I thought she was a comedian, honestly. But then I found out she had music, and I was like, I rock with her vibe. You know what I'm saying? I rock with her brand. You know what I'm saying? So I basically say that to say, basically, your story sometimes can get people to listen to your music, and once you get a little bit deep into it, you'll get as far as how your story, your own personal story, can be used to basically target people that you want to target, because a lot of times, you your own demo.
Yeah. Your reflection of it, man.
Well, exactly. Because you try to find people that vibe with your story, the way that you look, the way that you present yourself, and all that. So it's like for them to be able to do that, they got to be able to relate to you on a personal level. They got to look at you and see something in you that may reflect back to them and say, that's like me. I need to be a part of that, and building that little community of people that are like me and that need to be a part of that and make them feel special. That's building, a brand and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So moving on, you are your own entertainment attorney, though I don't advise it when signing contracts. Um, Basically, I found, yeah, definitely don't advise it when signing contracts, because sometimes the terminology, honestly, every time, the terminology in contracts can be confusing. Through the course, you will learn certain terms that you will learn certain different types of contracts because it is more than just one recording contract. It's distribution, it's leasing, licensing contracts. It's all kinds of different, in which you being as versatile as you are as a, producer, rapper, songwriter, then that leaves you the opportunity to maximize on just more than just a record deal. And not that, that's what you're looking for, but just to be able to become an independent artist. Um, Also, I found this resource. It's something that Sierra actually told me about. It's called Lawyers for the Creative Arts, but it is a free, and I'm gonna go to the website, but it is a free for certain artists. But they give free help to artists. You can apply for help on the website, and it's basically a group of artists in Chicago. Um, and you sign up, and they'll help you with everything from building your business to whether if you got a contract with somebody that wants to, work with you as an artist, or just whatever it is. It's all kinds of different. But this is the contract. This is the application. But yeah, the dance, film, TV, literature, music, performing arts, theater, visual arts, and all that kind of stuff. Business setup, commercial litigation, contracts, copyright. They basically help. And for you, it might be free just because you're a student. I'm not saying that it is, but I know that I have a meeting coming up with them actually. So because I have a few things that I'm trying to get taken care of, a few contracts coming my way, so I want to be prepared. But yeah, definitely. Thank you. You know, and this is another thing too that I would say as artists, we get scared of because it's like an attorney. Oh my God, legal stuff. But it's like if you want to understand the contract, you either have to do a lot of research and maybe make some mistakes or reach out to a real attorney. It's not hard. A lot of, just reach out to a real attorney, because at the end of the day, it'll save you a big headache. It'll save even just having them read over it so they can explain it to you for you to understand it better. That's what their whole goal is. You're not an attorney, so definitely reach out when you sign in contracts. Never sign anything. Never sign anything, anything without having somebody professional look at it. I don't care if they telling you, because as artists too, one thing that I see is it's a lot of big name. Oh, I'm the manager for Keon on the Beats, or I'm a manager for this person or the other, or I'm a manager for this big artist type of deal. And they send artists like you, artists like me, messages, and they sell you dreams, and they sell you all these dreams, and they sell you all these dreams. Most of the time, somebody hitting you in your DM is not legitimate business. They'll at least email you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna end it right there, but I just wanted to give you that resource. I'll put this in the group, so that way you'll be able to go to the website and just have access to it. And then that is the end of my presentation.